All right.
Flamingo.
We have a very special guest here today. We are, what are we, 2 weeks out, 2.5, a week and a half?
Week and a half.
A week and a half out from the Arnold. Brandon, I mean, first of all, of course, I think the show has a much higher status with you in it. And I actually have one big question for you because you've been training for probably the last, I don't know how many years. You tell me. You'd be preparing in Kuwait for all the shows you did. I mean, especially for the Olympias. Now, this seems to be the first show in a long time where you chose to be home with the family, train at home, and get to see your family and your kids every day. Now, how does that work for you?
Well, so far it's been fairly smooth. It's just about strategizing, planning out my days a little bit better. But I spent like 8 years in Kuwait, so I got kind of spoiled to eat, sleep, and bodybuilding. So it's just being home. I get to reap the reward of being present, but it just takes a little bit more strategy, making sure the meals are set out, making sure my days are set out. But once you get on schedule with the kids and their routines and everything, it's nothing. It's really nothing too tough, too difficult. Just every once in a while, you may have something pop up out of the blue, but so far it's been pretty smooth. It's prep.
Yeah. Are you easy to be around when you're prepping for a show? So they're probably happy to see you too.
I would like to think so. That I'm easy to be around. You had to ask them how easy. But I just try to cooperate when I'm needed. Taxi driving here and there, trying to be a part of practices, and just making sure I'm enjoying the things they're part of while I'm eating my meal. Making sure my training is laid out. But so far it's been pretty smooth, man. I haven't done this in a while, so now that my kids are a little bit more mature, a little less needy. It's a little different than it used to be when I used to prep here at home.
It sounds to me that everything is coming together, and because we talked about this a few times. Is it better for Brandon to be home? Is it better for him to be in Kuwait? And I said it could be better, and depending on your personality, of course. I mean, I was always a guy that the last phase before a show, I was gone. But I think it's different when you're in your 20s or your early 30s, when your mind is on a different level than once you get into your 40s, where you slow down with everything. You're more relaxed, you're more calm. I'm not as pissed off as I used to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's easier to be around people that I see every day. So, I think there's a big chance that it might be the same thing for you.
It's generally all about expectations. When you're younger, you have different expectations because you have different experiences and you haven't been through a lot. As you age, you go through different experiences. You realize not to sweat this, not to sweat that, only worry about what you can control. So your expectations change. So when things don't necessarily go exactly to plan or exactly this way, you're not freaking out. You're not losing it. You're just like, okay, I've been here before. Let me figure out how to navigate this situation. So it's just less of a stress factor when it comes to navigating this once you've been through this process so many times and you've dealt with this yourself and being in this career for so long. You just realize it's best for you just to maintain your peace, your calm, and strategize as much as possible. And you can only control what you can control.
What made you?
Brandon, yeah.
Go ahead, Milos. Go ahead, Milos. I don't want to be the only one.
Yeah, no, I was just patiently waiting to hear everything because I'm a huge fan. I was gone from U.S. from 2010 until 2017, and first time actually I've seen you on the stage is 2017 Olympia, and I did realize how unbelievable you are that you have that combination of everything. Every time I talk #bodybuilding, which is size and the shape and the V taper and the all the bells and vessels. You have it all. So 2017, I think you only placed like 8 or something. You are not a major factor, but I've seen you coming, right? And then 2018, you move up to 2019 was your year. At which point of your career did you realize, oh, I can take this? I mean, I've never been there. Dennis hasn't been there. Chris kind of felt it. Okay, he's right there. Maybe he can win it. I don't know, Dennis. I don't want to speak for you, but I don't think that you actually believe you can win at any point.
Who,
I
me?
never. Yeah.
Well,
It-
listen, there was a guy named Ronnie Colbert, so I don't really,
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to sit here and say, no, I thought I can win, you know.
Okay. But
My
for you,
my only goal was to beat Chris Cormier. That was it.
yeah. But
That's a really good goal to have.
2017,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for real. Huh?
Brandon, when did you realize that I can take this?
Well, being a young guy in the sport, I was either you call it arrogant or confident from the jump. When I committed to the sport, I thought, yeah. When I saw Ronnie Coleman lose the title to Jay in '06, that that's what really sparked it for me and let me know that I saw the impossible happen. So I must be here for a reason. I can one day be the champion on that stage. So I had that impression early on, and then my career, kind of took off immediately. And then of course that got challenged mentally by going through the struggles in life, trying to climb the ladder, trying to figure it all out in the professional realm. But I think it came back. I started to see that and feel it approaching, like you said, in 2017. My first Olympia was 2011. I got eighth. 2017, I got eighth again. That kind of let me know that that struggle was kind of completed because I was back where I originally started. Then I saw Shaun Rhoden go from fifth to first. So that following year when I got fifth, I was like, okay, this is my time. All I got to do is beat Shaun. And that's how it is. I went out to the Arnold and was like, okay, as long as I win this, my campaign for the Olympia will set itself up just like that. So I went out there. All I thought I got number one. I knew I was going to be the first person on stage. I was like, okay, I want to be the first person on stage and the last person they remember. And that turned out the way it did. And then I was like, okay, now it's time to go challenge Shaun. And then that situation with Shaun, went kind of sour. So it was like, once I was at the Olympia, it was this weird expectation. Okay, this is definitely my time. But yeah, so that's about 217. I think that kind of revived. I knew I was in that season in 2017, but I originally entered the sport and fully committed to bodybuilding with the idea that I knew I could be the champion.
What
You
makes
had a good.
Chris your turn? Go ahead, Chris.
Right.
You had
I was
the,
going to say, you always had a distinctive look about your physique. Prototypical bodybuilder would want to have your back, your abs, your chest, all this stuff. You had a little challenge in the lower body, but what, in saying that and saying this coming into the show now, how do you feel about the changes you had to make to make everything come together in the package that you want to bring to Arnold Classic? Being that you're getting older, but you still refined, and you want to show your best at this show. But how is the legs looking as far as like that's concerned?
Well, being what I've learned over the experiences in the last prep, a lot of times I get home after Olympia competition. I spend time in my own training segments, and I prioritize. That's why I prioritize my leg training. I may not even train much upper body at all, so I'm actively, using all the energy to recover from my leg work. Upper body is going to take a back seat because I know it'll come back. As soon as I start hitting it, everything's going to come back. So I've been using, as you see, the gradual improvements over the years, especially recently. That's what I've been using. I've been using some frequency, hitting it, stimulating, getting out the gym, recover, and hitting it again. So in the off season, typically in between seasons, I hit legs like 3 times a week because I know the upper body gonna come back. So going into last season, I knew going into the prep, my legs were already strong. I just had to bring stronger, so I had to bring my upper body, back up to where it would be. And even though we had a short prep, I think it was 11 weeks. Nobody could tell that any of that suffered as far as muscularity was concerned. So I just know just from experience that, that's the way it goes. So if I put a priority in my leg training, that's where it's going to go. Being that I'm home and I can kind of manage that a little bit better. This most of this prep it's been the same thing. I've been prioritizing my leg training a little bit more frequency, stimulating more times a week, and I've been able to make improvements. I kind of laid off the upper body a lot during the beginning of the season. The beginning of the prep, just training everything a little less frequently than everything else. And then I think right now everything's kind of caught back up. Pretty much training, stimulating everything going to the show. But I think I basically set a good foundation coming into the show for the leg development, for the recovery, for everything that I was putting into it to go into where I needed to improve, because I know everything else is going to come back. So it's been the same thing this year. I think you'll see some more improvements down low and more balance. And as far as the size, everything's come right back. So I feel pretty good just about capitalizing on conditioning. And we came into this prep condition early. So right now it's been kind of easy because the conditioning was there pretty early. So it's not something we had to really super focus on. So I've been bringing the body back to life at this point.
What made you decide to jump into the Arnold?
Well, I had an idea. Like I hadn't done the Arnold in 2 years. The last time I did it was 22, and I won. So I promised the committee, I was like, I'm gonna come back and do it eventually. But I figured when I was in prepping for the Olympia, I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, if I do the Arnold, I don't want to come back out and spend more time away from the family. So I got to figure out, okay, if I can strategize and commit to the show while doing something what I need to be doing at home. Mm-hmm. So instead of jumping off the wagon, when I got home, I decided to kind of, discipline myself to kind of see if I could set up a routine. But when I did go into a prep, I know I kind of can navigate. So I tested it out. I realized, okay, I can definitely navigate at home. I can definitely do what I need to do. I can definitely be on task. So the Arnold became more of an option. So I was like, okay, I could definitely do this at home. So once I figured that out, once I realized I could lay it out the way I wanted, I realized I also had to change my mindset, meaning that I had to switch camps, not because that camp didn't work, but I didn't want to be in this environment trying to duplicate what I would do in that environment. That's going to do nothing but cause me like more mental stress. I'm not able to duplicate everything, and I'm trying to do everything exactly the same. So I figured out I'm going to hire somebody totally new, go with a whole different coach, whole different approach. That way when my mind is fresh, I'm not stressing out on comparing things, and it's just a new, fresh go. So Justin, I've been following Justin Harris for a while. I know he's been coaching 25 years or so, but he's been on podcasts. I liked his approach. And I heard about his carb cycling approach back in the day, and I attempted it, but I hadn't done it the way I know he would do it. And I know I do really well with carbs. So I wanted to try something that I hadn't necessarily tried in this part of my bodybuilding career that kind of catered to the way that I utilize food. So I said, okay, let's go. I hit him up. He was all good. Found out he wanted to work with me in the past anyway. So we hooked up and everything's been going good. So now that I'm in this state at home, everything's fresh, everything's new. His approach is a little bit more flexible for my home life, and my calories and my carb content changes over the week. So my body is just responding in a different way. So it just feels fresh, it feels new, and I'm not having to deal with the stress about the comparison of this approach to that approach. So it's just mentally, I just did that to make sure that I'm taking some of those other factors that affect you psychologically out of it. And right now, my expectations are fresh expectations. And what my body's been doing has just been really, really, really giving me confidence that, I made the right decision. So I'm just looking forward to the show. I'm relaxed. I'm only going to control what I can control. And hopefully we come in there and just bring us some more enjoyment to bring my body back to the stage at the Arnold.
So when you look at yourself now, 1.5 weeks out from the Arnold, and you can compare yourself to any other show you did a week and a half out, where would you say, where are you at this moment?
I feel like I'm as good as I've been. I mean, like I said, my conditioning was in early, really early. Everything's in. I'm not worried about getting leaner at this point. We're just playing with the look at this point. And this prep, I did it in a way to where I didn't really stress my body out as much as I had in the past. So it's been the body's fresh. I'm not run down. A lot of less complicated. You know, we had a plan. He showed me basically a layout of what we were planning to do. But as everything progressed, you know, we didn't necessarily deviate into all the things that we were planning to do because my body was responding the way that we needed to respond. So that's a good sign. That's making adjustments based according to what I needed. So it's been kind of easy. It's been kind of, you know what I'm saying, it's been kind of chill for me. And my body's just been responding. So right now, they'll pull me down. I'm looking, I'm getting a little flat. And then he's like, okay, now you're peeled, man. You what we need you to be, we're just gonna play with your look, play with the hardness, play with the fullness, and figure out what we need to be in the show. So that gives me comfort at this point to where we're gonna capitalize on the look. I got a nice little range of fullness as far as the scale is concerned, where I know I can be, and the look is really not affected. All we just got to do is plan on what the water's gonna do, but it's just I'm just real comfortable right now. I think I could duplicate some of my best looks in different aspects. When it comes to condition, I think I can come in condition at that Arnold 2019 look. I think I'm there. I think we've seen that, but I also think I can add some of that fullness element because we had that wiggle room to work that I brought a little bit later in the past to even that same year. So I'm in a very, very comfortable position. I'm looking forward to seeing some combination that I haven't really seen before because I'm doing things slightly different. So I'm not looking for the same, but I'm looking for different, and hopefully that different will be better, and the judges will agree.
Question for Milos and Chris.
Yeah.
Brandon at his close to all-time best? We're not talking about the age because the age don't mean anything because Brandon's body never looked run down. So where does he fit in with guys like Samson, Mr. Olympia, Andrew Jack, top 5 at the Olympia, Derrick Lunsford? Now, let's keep in mind, we're not judging Brandon from last year. Let's judge Brandon like 2019 when he won the Arnold.
Arnold Classic, yeah. Okay, Chris, you want to say? I can go.
Either one.
Yeah. So first, let me also remind you. I sent you like 3-4 days ago, 2021 Olympia, Big Ramy and Brandon comparisons. You know, again, I sent you because I was quite impressed. I was there with you, Dennis. We were analyzing, and Brandon was so close. He could go either way, and that was Ramy, Big Ramy at close to his all-time best.
When in 21 he wasn't at his best, not even close.
2020 he was at his best, but now reigning.
I don't even think, to be honest, I don't even think that 2020 was his best.
If you're gonna go for 2013 and whatever, listen, he made a mark by winning Mr. Olympia.
Got you.
You know, once you win the Mr. Olympia, that's the look that everybody's pointing. So I was super impressed with Brandon's conditioning, size, fullness at 2021 Olympia. That's Big Ramy. And side poses, side chest, side triceps. I mean, there's an argument for me that he is beating Ramy in those poses, and Ramy has this big old leg from the side. It's still, that was the beautiful combination for me, Brandon, when I look at it. 2022, you came way too full. That's that beautiful Brandon Curry's physique, but the legs got the fullness but lost the separation. And that was kind of visible, right? Then 2023, Steve Weinberger, many other people were saying, Abdullah, that you're in crazy condition, and then you end up in a hospital. I do remember, at the athletes meeting, we heard that you're in trouble, and then you basically almost pulled out. And you came back and you still beat Andrew Jack. You still, made the top your
top four, yeah.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. With everything going against you, you were still that guy.
Imagine what he would have looked like if it wasn't for that. It wasn't in the hospital.
So for me, when I analyze, and I remember when I was at the Lou Ferrigno 2017 show when you beat Cedric McMillan, and I was just shocked. I never seen that kind of flow. It's different when you see on the pictures and the videos, which I was watching you from Serbia, from 2011 to 17, and now it's like I'm right there, like holy. And then you come to that Arnold Classic looking crazy. Could you at 2019 win in this lineup? Yes, you can. So, Dennis, to answer your question.
Oh, thank
yes.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, but I have to give you the basis of my
You
analysis.
gave me all the bases. You covered everything.
Yeah, because, okay.
That's Milos.
Structure-wise,
Yes.
shape-wise, V-taper-wise, muscle fullness, cartoon character, back, arms, shoulders, right? The only downfall was legs, and Samson has a crazy legs, right? So that power that he's going to have here will be visible. Side poses, you're super good because I don't know why your legs look four-dimensional from a side. It's not even 3D. It's like fucking, I don't understand. I was sitting at Dubai watching the show, and Brandon was right next to me, and I'm looking the size of the legs sitting down. It's just like mind-boggling. I mean, it's like tree trunks like that, right? Which always makes me believe that if that's the thing, maybe you can
switch from the side to the front, Brandon.
You know what I mean? I don't know. But to answer your question, Dennis,
You did.
Samson is fucking unbelievable. Andrew Jack can be unbelievable. But Brandon beat Andrew twice already, right? So the judges see what they can compare. And
Would he fare better with Derrick?
I always said it before that he would beat Derrick. Brandon at his best beat Derrick at his best. I'm sorry, Chris. I know. for me, that's the thing.
Dude? What are you calling for?
And just my final analysis again, because I don't have a chance to talk directly to Brandon. My feeling, seeing you getting ready early, beautiful conditioning is there. Okay, you even mentioned your coach is telling you now you're ripped. So if the job is done, losing the body fat, now really the major job would be how to fill you up and get that roundish cartoon character look, because you're going to need it next to those three guys, to break into that, right? And another thing that I would always say to each and everyone, when you know that you have a body parts or a poses that you dominate some guys, you have to make sure that to show it, to emphasize it, get that attention. The judges compare these kind of things, right? So whatever you think are your strengths, you can't be passive. I'm going to just say this and stop. People criticizing Andrew Jack looking not as interested on the stage, not fiery, not fighting. Hey, it's not arrogance but confidence. For me, you have a little bit of a layback attitude on the stage. And listen, I like nice guys, but you cannot be a nice guy on the stage.
All right.
All right?
Chris, do I need to repeat the answer or the question, or do you remember?
Yeah, repeat it.
All right. I know you're going to forget because it took long. Brandon, let's say a 2019 Arnold Classic version of Brandon, where do you see him compare it to Samson, Andrew, and Derrick at this year's Olympia?
Well, like Neil said, he beat Samson. Sorry. He beat Andrew a couple times already. I haven't seen Andrew beat Derrick yet, but he's a former Mr. Olympia also. Mm-hmm. And
there are 3 Mr. Olympias on that stage.
I think I see some more definition as far as separation in the front quads. I think I see that coming in. On
who? On Brandon?
So, yeah.
Okay.
From Brandon this year, as opposed to previously, I saw a lot of fullness, but the separation is where it's gonna, I think, carry the more of an illusion in his quads. you can, I mean, depending on keeping enough fullness and the cuts is you could range anywhere from, you know, battling for the top spots or,
You saying top
it's something,
spots? Are you saying top
top
spots
spot,
or top
top,
spot?
top threes, top twos, something like this.
Top
That's the
twos?
top
What
five,
about the top? What
Olympian.
about the top spot? Does he have a shot?
Samson is going to be, I don't know. I mean, he's battled with that physique with Big Ramy. He's big guys. He's been a
Yeah.
little bit bigger guys than him. Everyone wants a back double bicep and last spread like Brandon.
Uh-huh.
Who would want with the abs, the side tricep. Like I say, if he's got the definition in the legs and keeping that from the side, we know the side looks great, but keeping that from the legs, and I think the glutes are in pretty early, I think. So, I mean, anything can happen from there. I don't see him going as far as you can't go past the fifth, and the top can be is, to win it or be top two. I think he's going to be in that area.
Yeah. I
What are
mean,
your goals, Brendan? You're going into the show. What is your goal?
My goal,
Yeah, at the show.
500 G.
my goal is to enjoy myself, make some money for the fam, and spank some of these young guys on stage.
Good. Good.
That's my goal.
Dennis, you answer your own question. I want to hear.
Okay, I'll answer this way. I was like, Brandon at his best beats Andrew at this point. I'm going by the last showing of Andrew. We don't know what Andrew looks like now. Brandon at his best version will beat Derrick because they have similar weaknesses. And I think that when it comes to, most of the poses, especially side poses, I think Brandon can beat him because he's bigger. Brandon at his best is going to have a very hard time beating Samson at this point. But keep in mind, Samson hasn't been the most consistent when it comes to condition. He can catch him off guard. The same way he could have caught Ramy off guard. You know what I'm saying? Where it was really close. Because if Samson is not 100% conditioned and Brandon is, I think it's a good, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying this would be the way for him to make it happen. If Samson would have to be off, I think at this point, for Brandon to sneak by. That's my honest opinion. But I think if he's at his best, he can beat Derrick and Andrew and definitely fight for the title. But can we see Milos? Can we see Brandon? No, Brandon. I know he thinks he's right there. We all been there. We all done it. We all thought at a later age. I remember when I did the fucking when I came back for the Masters, I thought, man, I'm right there, same body weight, condition was on, but it wasn't the same body. Now, what do you really feel? Can Samson still look like he did in 2019 in 2025? And Samson and Brandon, this is not a knock on you. I really don't want to. I just want to say, is it possible?
It's Brandon, it's not Samson. Okay.
Brandon, yeah.
Okay. Brandon, we have no filters in this podcast, right? So we don't sugarcoat or anything. Abdullah came on our podcast last year before the Olympia when he was telling us that he stopped coaching you because he almost called you a beach boy, like you lost all the size, and then there was like no coming back. Okay, so my recollection, Abdullah, if I said
no, it was a little different, I think.
I like to exaggerate a little bit.
Yeah, no. Let's not do that because people are going to talk about it. No, from what I understood is that
he was too small.
That there was no updates for a long time, and when he did send the updates, he didn't think he was at a point where it was enough time to get him to that point to win the Olympia.
What was the reason? Because it was too small.
Because he was too small or untrained or whatever the reason was.
He said it was my size.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
He said it was
That's it.
my size.
I just
That's
like
exactly
to
it.
sugar, put little cherry on the top.
No, yeah. No, let's not do that if we don't have to.
But so my whole thing, and Dennis, I'm listening to you. At a later age, sometimes it's kind of hard to keep that fullness and the same pop that you have. And this is exactly, Brandon, I'm a huge fan of your physique, huge fan. And I'm afraid that, okay, can you bring that same pop? And if you can, you're right back in the mix. Okay. And I don't know if going to the last year's Olympia, what you did, you didn't look as big at last year's Olympia for me. It was not same popping muscle round, the tie-ins, because you have that crazy chest, shoulders, arms combo and crazy back. You kind of didn't look that full. The video from a few weeks ago, you got ripped, beautiful shape, everything, but you look kind of flattish. Poor best Brandon. If you haven't seen you before, okay, this is beautiful, the great shape. But we now compare you to 2019 Arnold Classic and 2021 Olympia, which I think
Yeah,
was
but
phenomenal.
we compare him to the stage shots. We don't compare him to a couple of weeks out because we didn't see what he looked like leading up to the show. So he could have been in a phase where he was super flat.
Yeah.
You know?
So I don't know Brandon's physique 3 days out, 1 week out. I do remember seeing Brandon at Arnold Classic at that the pro gym pictures like a couple of days before the show. They were just ridiculous. That was I don't know which Arnold Classic, but those are one of those photos that can go to the archives of bodybuilders at their all-time best. Bursting full, skin tight like you can't even believe, and then striations, separations, everything. Ooh. Do you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
Brendan?
it's probably 22.
22. That kind of look, if you can bring that look, then you can spell trouble for everybody.
He would have to bring that look. I mean, it's not about if, it's that this is what he needs. And I'm sure he knows. He's going against some big dudes. I mean, you can't be, super small. You got to come in full,
I was gonna say, Brandon, did you ever, before we leave the subject too much, did you ever, did you ever have a talk with your former coach? Did you ever, how did that strike you? And did you feel like you had to prove something when, obviously he didn't think that you can perform up to your standard?
No, not really. I guess, basically it's like I was just focusing on getting ready for a show. With me, it's either you in, or you out. I'm gonna do the show regardless. And my history is coming to Kuwait small and getting big as I go and getting lean as I go. My first prep there was 11 weeks. I've done probably 2 or 3 more short preps there, same fashion. It was just circumstances couldn't get me out there quick enough. So I don't sweat that. I don't sweat time frames because I know it comes back quick for me. So that wasn't an issue. So at that point, he didn't feel like, I guess, I was confident. He was confident in me being able to bring it. That's fine. We still brought the size back. Weight wise, we probably heavier, so I probably should have been a little bit tighter. That probably would have made it look a lot better. But we played a little bit conservative than we should have, especially with the water, the dehydration process. And it's just a new experience, new process. So there's no hard feelings against that. That happens. I mean, I miss with Abdullah. I've missed with him before. So it's not like we always come on. The game plan doesn't always work, but Abdullah, he's a great coach still. No hard feelings against him. His opinion, that's his opinion. That's his opinion. But at the end of the day, I'm a bodybuilder. I'm gonna try to compete and get to, make it to the show and be my best regardless of who's dictating how I'm coming in and what the look's gonna be. So, and the thing is, I already worked with Ahmed at that point. He's already been in the camp. He already been through the experiences. He had some different opinions. He was training me, so he's just he's been in the trenches, so it's not like everything the process we were going through he didn't recognize. You know, where we at, what was going on. So it wasn't that much difference. It was just that, you know, Abdullah wasn't bringing the reins in, making the final decisions. So, but for me, it was the same environment, pretty much same process, just a little differences here and there.
Yeah.
Who's pushing you now in the gym? Anyone, and who's helping you or pushing you with the posing, or is that you doing that yourself?
Yeah. You know, I'm a gym rat. Typically, I don't need nobody to push me in the gym. I need somebody to tell me, "Oh, you're doing too much." For me, you know, the training is what I love to do. Is what I love to get in there and push myself and, you know, try to improve. So that's not my issue. My issue is like kind of balancing that with the food and the intake and the look, because you know as well you can train yourself into a hole if you're not, you know, eating well, you're not supplementing your training, you're not supplementing what you're eating. So having that balance is what it's all about for me, because I'm at work. You know, I like to work. You know, I like to train. So that's not a factor. And it's all for me. It's about just keeping the joints healthy as I'm getting older, making sure, you know, I'm not hurting anywhere and I'm not pushing myself in ways that's gonna be detrimental to me making it to the show. And that's the key thing. I just got to be smarter about that. And so far I've been pretty healthy going into the show. I haven't had any really aches and pains and anything to really slow me down. So it's been really good. Strength wise, the same too. Typically, this part of the camp, if I'm doing everything right, I'm continue to progress in strength, to continue to get stronger, as long as everything's healthy. And so far, it's been the same. So it's been no different in the training. The only difference is that I'm able to specify where I want the work to be done and where I'm already strong. I'm able to say, okay, I don't need to, you know, put too much work there because I'm trying to bring a balanced physique. You know, that's the only thing.
You think your legs improved? Because in the last couple of pictures, it looked like your quads are actually more separated and fuller.
Let's go look at Brandon Curry's
impression.
Instagram, and I know he posted it's a picture where he posted that he uploaded a new video on his YouTube channel.
It's short exercise. You can fast forward if you need to, but it's a short.
Oh, sissy squats.
Old school.
Oh, that's old school stuff right there. See, you can tell he's past 35.
Yeah. Not doing the Instagram stuff.
Yeah, people underestimate sissy squats.
Yeah, this is my hip dominant day, but I do some isolation for quads and the hamstrings.
You gonna pull the pants down somewhere in that video?
Yeah. I don't do any. Just like I said, pull forward a little bit after I do the second exercise.
Okay, can
You'll
you
see me
forward?
pose.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I already saw that.
That's with a pump too. So some of the
Yeah.
separation's not there, but
Yeah, but when you still have separation like this, when you fully pumped, that's
Yeah,
a good.
fully
That's a
pumped,
good
yeah.
sign.
Look at that. Look at
They're
that.
meaty though. They're meaty.
That's a good
Yeah,
sign.
yeah.
Because usually when you have but you have a full pump, your separation is gone unless you're really, really good condition. Good.
Okay.
All right.
I noticed one thing, if I can say it.
Say it.
Brandon, and that's not just you, that's many people when they pose and they just hit the pose for a second and then they keep moving. When you do need to master your leg presentation and separation on both legs equally at the same time with the flare out and VMO, right? You have to freeze and hold it for 10 seconds and 15 seconds and 20 seconds. You know, but if you practice like this, even for the video, because I tell my guys, when you send me the video, don't send me the bullshit. Send me exactly what you're going to do on the stage. Same amount of seconds, same transition, same breathing, same everything. And let's see the legs. Because we can do a review of many bodybuilding shows. Paul Dillette, for example. You know, look at the legs are perfect for 2 seconds and then he loses. And then maybe he brings back a little bit and then... So the guys that have no commodity of losing it, they have to master to keep it. You have to see that sharp line and it's there until you turn to the side. This is how I see it, because that leg that you just show, was wonderful. But there was a moment, okay, we can appreciate. If I'm a judge, I've seen this for 2 seconds, and then that left leg was relaxed, and then, so it's not that full picture.
But keep in mind, he had a pump. He was just training legs.
By all means,
Yeah.
listen, I'm talking to Mr. Olympia, and I'm a huge fan of Brandon. It's not like I'm trying to teach him something.
No,
But
you good. You good.
I'm not afraid of pointing out, if I'm a judge, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? Everybody knows Brandon with legs is a trouble. Okay? So at 2022 Olympia, you brought the legs but lost the separation. Okay? And maybe it was just like tilting the hips, and getting that separation. But if you did this each day, 20 times for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, then you're going to wake up in the middle of the night, let me check, and legs are there. And you look for 10, 15, 20 seconds, they're there, they're going to be there on the stage.
I appreciate that. I
What-
appreciate that, Milos. Good advice.
What can be the reason for the example you just mentioned, that he brought bigger legs, but he was missing the separation? Could that be that things like this happen when you are just like a one show a year man, which means you finish the Olympia, you back off everything, you just chill for I don't know, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then you start your contest prep for the next Olympia. Is that the reason why new growth is not as conditioned as it should be? You see what I'm trying to say? Could it be because Brandon, after the Olympia, maybe backs off everything and just chills? And then when he starts this, how early did you start your prep for the Olympia?
That Olympia prep was 11 weeks.
No, normally, how long do you prep for a show?
It just kind of depends on what I can get out there.
So, but
But at least 16 weeks is ideal.
16 weeks. Okay, so what do you do the 2, 3 months, 4 months leading up to the 16 weeks?
I'm prioritizing my leg training.
So you still
breathing.
train and everything. You're still sticking to your. Okay.
Yeah, I probably train legs more. That's the only way I've been able to bring my legs up. As of late, is because my off period time. That may be all I train.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
I want all my recovery and everything to go to that period. But I understand what he's saying. He's talking about holding that contraction, locking those hips down, making sure you're aware of that presence on stage, which makes perfect sense.
Right.
We all need to anticipate, because especially if somebody's looking at what they're looking at, they're gonna be looking at my legs, of course.
Especially when you're standing in the lineup and you
Right.
don't tilt your hips back, like Milos would say, tilt your damn hips. If you don't tilt your hip backs, your legs automatically look like they're 3 inches smaller than they really are.
Right. So I understand that. And another thing I had to do, and I've been doing, I'll just give a little tip out, as far as the isometric contraction, controlling that area, but the area is a lot controlled by the hip flexors themselves. So hip flexor strength is very important, which is something I've been prioritizing, to be able to, really connect with that. But being able to hold the isometric contraction for a long period of time is another aspect that, Milos is right.
Very good.
That's
Now
another way.
that you mentioned it, I'm going to jump in on that one. Hip. So when you do the hanging leg raises with the straight legs, look at your quads, separated like they can be. So if you do the hanging leg raises with the straight legs, check out your legs. You can externally rotate your knees a little bit. Legs are exactly like you want them on stage because of hip flexion. That's exactly what he said, right? And then one thing that I always did, like 4 weeks before the show, every single day at the end of the workout, I would do the leg extensions light. And with each rep, I have to look to create that gap and adapt, and then feathers. And maybe that's would increase my control, even though the Chris Cormier said I had smooth legs.
Chris.
So what I'm saying, when I look at the volume of your legs, as Chris, you said there's so much meat there, right? It's crazy size that you have. And now this pumped quad, when you can see that line and VMO and laterals, you have it. But it's not what you have, it's what you show.
Right.
And if you don't practice long enough, I don't know you if you do this or not, but you have to pose like Robbie Robinson did 200 times the same pose. Okay. And I don't know that anybody does this nowadays. So if you master your legs until the Arnold Classic, everybody's going to notice. Judge is going to notice.
Yeah, his upper body, ain't nobody worried about his upper body. True, true.
I
Hey,
like
but this is great advice for not just me, but
For
any
everybody.
of the guys listening. So I appreciate you sharing that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but I would like to switch the subject real quick and go back and look at Shaun Clarita's Instagram. He posted a video of him posing. I think it's either today or yesterday.
I didn't see it.
And I want you guys to see and tell me what you think. Okay, what do we see, guys?
Pants.
I see less bloat in his stomach, more contractions in the stomach.
I love Shaun and what he is bringing. This is how can you not respect and love a guy like this, right? But you know how it is when they don't show the legs. It could be a couple of reasons, right? We knew with Kevin Levrone never showed the legs in his comeback for the Olympiad, and then he took them off. So if Shaun Clarita improved his legs, and I must say I've seen him improved. Last time I saw him pose at Dragon's Lair, the volume is coming back, and right now his upper body looks super volumized.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's at his biggest, but
Yeah.
Does it look like his waist is expanded? That his waist is wider than it usually is?
His abs are there.
It's hard to tell without seeing the hips and the legs.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I'd like to see a little bit more ab control, to be honest. Especially when he's not the tallest guy, so whatever size he has, I mean, he has to watch his midsection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a high angle for the camera as well. So that's gonna give you a different impression on the waist.
Yeah, it makes it smaller, right?
The high angle,
If
down on him,
if it goes down on him, it makes him smaller.
it's gonna make I mean,
Look at all the Instagram pictures of the girls. They take the pictures from up here because their face is nice and slim.
right. But his is like almost like chest height. Looks
Yeah,
like.
but
So sometimes when you put that center, it's gonna make that waist look bigger.
yeah. Well, I hope that's the case because that's the only thing that stands out to me a little bit is he's not bloated, but he's just a little fuller in the waist.
You saying width,
Yeah.
literally width.
Yes. But he's massive though for his height. His chest. And the only thing I'd like to see his chest be at least as big as his shoulders.
But that was.
But it's must improve though.
Yeah, I just think he's gonna go for the fullness. He's going into the Arnold in the open class. He's got to be
thank
bubbly.
you.
He's got to be freaky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, he's going against giants. He's going against everybody that's bigger than him. You know?
But
Yeah, he's got to be.
His conditioning is that extra hardness, extra dryness.
Yeah.
I mean, freaky. He has that in him. Yeah.
I just saw that Sergio Oliva is also with Stefan
Yeah.
now.
Stefan.
Yeah. Stefan has a half of the IBB now.
Yeah.
One guy, I don't know how he does it.
But isn't it the same with everything? I mean, when something works with someone and then everybody thinks it works with him and got to work with me, and and that alone, just to believe that it will work, it's going to make it work better than normally. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, more power to him if he can juggle all these guys at the same time. I mean, it's going to be a whole fucking weekend with no sleep. That's for sure.
I think it's a very good look for Sergio. I think it's the best he's looked in the midsection. Chest can be a little fuller, but the delts and separation in the arms.
Is he going to compete? Is he going to compete?
He's doing the show. He's doing the FIBO.
Is
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
people. That's what it is. Yep.
Sure.
That's what he said. He's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, Brandon, how about you after the Arnold Classic?
Yeah.
Did you project anything?
There's some more money out there.
Yeah. You know, if I do well enough, you know, if I'm in the top 5 position, I don't have to reevaluate much, and we can strategize for maybe doing another show before the Olympia. You know, and you know, as Chris would say, I qualify for a certain division now, so you never know. May have to travel, but we'll see how that goes. You know, it's one show at a time for me. That's how I strategize, but reassess after this is done. Look at the schedule for the family, the travel schedule for the bodybuilding, and then I make an assessment for that. You know, because it's exciting times here. You know, we got what 7v7 season, track season right now, and then next thing we know, we run into spring football, and we got basketball season. So it's exciting times right around here.
So you're pretty busy, huh?
You know, I'm trying to navigated everything. My son just got his driver's permit today. He went to go pick it up. So, you know, we have a car. He's gonna be driving a lot more. So, you know, I'm here for all that. So I'm enjoying all this. So that's what I'm saying. My strategy is going to be dependent upon, you know, how things are falling through.
That's
I
awesome.
don't want to overstress myself, but I want to make it like this prep was really nice. So I want to make it a nice prep like this.
Are you,
No injuries.
Chris? Go
No
ahead.
injuries. No injuries.
Nah, no injuries.
That's a blessing.
Go ahead, Chris.
And your whole family's into sports. I mean, from the mama down to the smallest is all either wrestled, played football, ran track, or anything. So everybody understands what you're doing. I think that's great. I mean, it's great that you could be around these times with them because it's very special times that you can't get back. But yeah, I think everybody clearly understands what it is to be an athlete.
Yeah, and honestly, like this environment, I didn't realize it since they're so active now. It keeps me engaged with what I need to do as an example. Stand on top of my game,
Right.
lead by example. You know, when they were little, you know, they didn't pay much attention to what was going on. But now that they're more mature, you know, I'm telling them, take this, you know, make sure you take your protein shake with you. You know, I'm packing my food with me, doing this, you know, it's kind of helping me, you know, solidify some of those habits and kind of be an example and also stay on top of myself because, you know, I got these eyes watching me as well.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
B, how old are you now?
42.
42. So did you already sit down with the wife and plan of how much longer you want to do this?
No, man, I'm not promised tomorrow. So, you know what I'm saying? I live for the day.
Okay.
I'm not promised tomorrow. So right now I'm just enjoying the day. You know, I can say ideals. I can look at it down the road, but you know, my plans always fail anyway. So I learn not to make them.
Yeah. Do you plan like an exit strategy though? Do you have a plan B plan for afterlife, after bodybuilding?
Yeah. So what I got,
Are you still involved or still doing this culture club or culture gyms?
Yeah. We're still doing gyms. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's another thing you're doing there. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll probably be in the gym more. You know, I can't stay out the gym, so I'll probably, you know, I like to give my time to other people when I have it, and you know, anybody that you know is receptive to learn and understand, and you know, so I like mentoring as well. So I'll probably do more of that because I have more time. But then, of course, being around kids athletics and that community as well is very energizing as well. So. Whatever it's gonna be is gonna be giving my time.
Will we ever see you back in Kuwait?
I don't know if I'll prep in Kuwait. I don't know. It kind of depends on how things are going, but I'll definitely always willing to go back and visit, hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
It's still much love there for Batter, for Abdullah, Ahmed, Armor, all my guys. I mean, I really appreciate and I'm really grateful that they've been able to give me so much support over the years. And as that business model, as those things expand, I definitely like to be a part of that excitement. And that with the Dubai Pro going on, I definitely like to see that continue to grow. So yeah, I definitely whatever's going on, whatever they're involved in, I do want them to let them know that I'm gonna always be a supporter of that community out there because like I've seen it. It's definitely changed my life, and I can see the level of excellence and everything out there that's really helping that community excel. So that's always something that I won't leave behind. I always have an option to go out there, whether I'm out there to prepare, to help, going out there to support, whatever it may be.
Were you the last one left? Because
No. I wouldn't say that. Maybe open bodybuilding. I'm like, maybe one of the last, guys that really, really made a mainstay. But they got guys coming in, camping and going in and out of there all the time. So, and with the Dubai gym opening, that's gonna change the game for that landscape. A lot of guys gonna want to go out there and do little camps out there. So that's another option as well. So I just, I just know that there's still an opportunity for guys to go out there and get better. It's just going to be a new crop of guys eventually that's going to be doing that. And right now, it's been different categories, different classes. Other than open bodybuilding.
I would still say that Kuwait is the best option because Dubai, there's too much distraction.
Yeah.
Too much distraction that a bodybuilder cannot stay away from. That's just the way it is. In Kuwait, there's no opportunity for you to go ahead and hang out and meet girls in clubs and shit. There's no alcohol, none of that shit. So you go to Dubai, shit.
It just depends. Like it depends. If you dare to have a little bit of that mental break, because a lot of guys can't handle the Kuwait atmosphere. Where you all synced in with nothing else really going on. A lot of guys, they can't mentally cope to that. But just knowing that you have the possibility of being somewhere and having everything you need, having the possibility to get that relief when you need it, is maybe important to some guys. No. Every guy can't handle it, but some guys, are mature enough to where, when it's time to really, really zone in, they can do it. But if you're a young guy, you may get caught up a little bit.
Let's put a scenario together. Chris come here at his prime in Kuwait.
Yeah, he definitely get it done. That would be his place.
Yeah.
He couldn't go to Dubai though.
Yeah, but Chris come here at his prime in Dubai. It's over.
No. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That personality, yeah, exactly. At that time, yeah.
Chris is looking at me like I'm talking some trash that's not even true.
Yeah.
Hey man,
that party scene, all the girls and everything. Yeah.
I wish
that can be a distraction.
All right. I have a serious question for all three of you.
Oh,
And Brandon, you answer the last because let them first speak. Looking at Dexter Jackson, right? Vince Taylor, Francis Bimpado. There are many guys that keep improving at the late 40s into the 50s. You have no injuries, right? So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Dennis and Chris. Do you see if Brandon commits himself, for the next 3, 4, 5 years and still say, I was a champ before, I have no injuries. Right now I'm a contest ready. Fat is gone. I'm filling up. Let me see how far I can go.
Well, it sounds like
Don't you think that he can be at his all-time best? He can be better than what we were talking 2019 and 21 and.
if I say yes now, I would probably not be 100% honest to myself. I'm going to say it this way. Because even though your prime comes later now, not in your 20s no more. And bodybuilding, I would say your prime is anywhere from 32 to, let's say, 40. Your prime. Now, if it wasn't for Brandon already being in Kuwait for 8 years, if you would tell me this now and Brandon would have been doing this shit at home, and now he would get a chance to go somewhere and focus with no distraction, I would say it's probably possible. But I think at this time, I think if he can get to his best, I think that's way better than average already. I mean, he's already 42 years old. That's why we say at 40, your legs is going to shrink. This is happening. And, what happened, and there's a few exceptions. You mentioned Dexter Jackson. But was Dexter Jackson better at 45 than he was in 2008? Or 2007? Or 2006? Or 2005?
Super comparable.
Because it's apples and oranges sometimes. And yes, it's comparable. But you're asking me if he can be at his all-time best. I don't think is going to be possible. But listen, who am I to speak? Because he might just go to the Arnold and shock the fucking world like Hardy did last year, and then I'll be like, shit, I'm gonna eat my words, and I'm gonna be okay with it.
But you
Well,
think
even Dexter, when he did make.
But you got to be careful with Dexter though, Chris, because Dexter was great. Then he started losing it, and then after he started losing it for a couple of years, all of a sudden he started getting better again. So now he wasn't better than he was before he started losing it, but he was better than the couple of years where he went downhill.
Yeah, I was going to say he got a little fuller in the stomach area.
Yeah.
He was still beating some of these guys, but it was definitely not the Dexter we was used to seeing.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yes.
And then he resurged, started just adjusting as you're getting older.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a couple of bumps, and you'll say, "Oh shit, I got to fix this. I got to adjust that." And then he made another surge, towards the end, where he looked great again. We even spoke recently about this stuff, me and Dexter. And I think if you play your cards right,
he's not even that old. He's 42.
Yeah, make sure you don't get injured.
Yeah, we're talking to him like he's in his 50s. No, he's 42.
Because if we had a chance to keep rolling and we'd have no injuries or something come up to where we couldn't do it, I think it's better to get everything out while you have it going, because once you shut it all down, trying to bring it back again is going to be a whole nother story.
Milos, how old were you at your last show?
39. Yeah.
39?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn,
we're in the world of stem cell technology now too. So I don't know how that's going to change the game.
It will change the game. Trust me.
Okay, but physiologically speaking, right? That human cell is human cell, muscle cell is muscle cell. If he has no injuries, what I was saying the other day, like my muscles are still kind of there, but my joints are gone. Which comes with the age. But when you don't have an injury, and then you can maybe baby it and be careful like Dexter did. Dexter didn't do crazy workouts, he didn't annihilate, stuff like that. And your body looks fresh. It's just like now what you're saying, feeding it. You have that carb cycling. So now that fat is gone, right? I don't know what you guys are doing, but probably you can afford more carbs and fill up that muscle and then see what it is. And you have the genetics to have that poof, like full round and striate it. And then it's just about, I think that Brandon can still keep improving. And what I heard today, 11 weeks for the Olympia. Well, and kind of that year when you won Arnold Classic and the Olympia, back to back. I mean, did you train the full on in between, or you still took off and then come back?
Yeah, I was traveling quite a bit in between.
So he's like Kevin Levrone. He can go like this back.
Yeah, but Brandon, I mean, I've seen him in the gym many times. We've even worked in the same camp before. He is a damn hard worker. I mean, he used to wrestle also, and he can go hard in the gym with no issues, no problem. Even with the posing, you don't back down from any of that stuff.
That's why he's fucking Mr. Olympia. That's why.
You don't back down.
No doubt, no doubt. That brings us to my favorite part. We got this week, and we're going to have one more next week. So we still can make changes if necessary, but I have a feeling that there's a couple of things going to change this week. We're going to predict the Arnold Classic in the Open. I'm going to start today with Chris. Chris, give me your top 6 at the Arnold in particular order, please.
At the Arnold, I'm gonna start from the back.
Oh, you're going to start from 6.
I'm gonna start from 6. I'm gonna go with Carlos Thomas Jr. in the top 6.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with the Giant Killer. And I'm gonna go with our guest today, Curry, Samson,
Wait a minute.
and we got
So,
Switch.
wait a minute. You got Brandon and then Samson?
I'm sorry,
Have you had some sleep?
the other black guy. What's his name?
The other black guy.
Andrew.
The other black guy.
No, Andrew.
Okay.
And I got a switch up here.
Oh, what? What?
I have a switch up here.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna go Derrick second.
Okay.
Oh,
You need to explain. You need to explain this.
look straight into the camera.
Yeah. So Samson
Wait a
winning.
minute. Wait a minute.
Okay, what happened? Why all of a sudden you switched Derrick from 1 this whole time to second place? We all have a right to know.
I just see
Samson's pictures.
no, I didn't see any pictures. I don't know. I had the confidence because I thought things would go a certain way, you know. The last time I saw him, we were backing off the posing. And I don't think that's what is going to set a person like Derrick over the current champion, who is, you know, obviously more athletic and size-wise over that. And I just think those things are serious components that can make you or break you when it comes down to that. And I'm not too confident by having that going on. It's going to put you over the top and beat these guys, because I think Andrew is going to be much improved from Olympia, and I think Derrick is going to be definitely much improved, but still, I don't know if it's going to be enough to beat the current champion of the.
Okay,
you know,
so you just figured that out now. So all these last 8 weeks.
I'm just saying, like the last time I was out there, that's what was going on.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to ask you any more questions.
I can't see it picking up.
Got
going
you.
into the show.
Got you. Milos?
It's less and less.
Yeah, I do think that Samson is dominant at this point, and that he's going to deliver. It's going to be very hard to beat. I do think that Andrew Jack is the only guy that has a chance to really battle with him. I really think it's a Samson Andrew show. Yeah, all the respect to Derrick, it's still, when you put him next to him, you could see the difference. So, and Derrick being improved and still having some crazy muscles, I think he's gonna take third. Now, even before, I did put Brandon ahead of Derrick for like 2023 Olympia. You know, I'm judging as myself, not what I think judge is gonna judge. Okay, so if I judge by myself, yeah, that's Brandon at his best would beat Derrick at his best, no problem. Me saying. So, but now you consider everything that is happening. Right now, I still see Brandon. Brandon, I already told you, you look to me kind of flattish. Your muscle is not uh, full expanded. And if it is, then you're going to create that illusion like 2021 with the big Ramy. I send you guys pictures. It's like, holy shit, that's a Brandon that looks formidable. So I see that it's going to be Arnold Classic rematch between you and Bonyak, uh, actually for a fourth and fifth place with Shaun Clarida. So that's my 4, 5, 6. In which order?
I need to know.
Okay. Right now, I'm seeing Clarida uh, in this, but then again, okay, let me. And I'm not saying this because Brandon is here, so I'm going to move him forward because he's available. For me, still Brandon's physique beats Shaun's physique. Brandon's physique beats Bonyak's physique. If conditioning, and he looks good condition, is there, and illusion of the fullness, then Brandon can be fourth. And Bonyak and Shaun is going to be a great battle. I think Shaun has the legs; he's not showing them. Bonyak improved dramatically. I'm gonna go Bonyak fifth, and Shaun sixth.
That's a very.
But
good,
that's all by hair.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have. The exact same one. I got Samson, Andrew, Derrick, Brandon, Bonak, and Shaun. Now, if Brandon shocks the world, then I got Brandon all the way up in second. But that's for next week. Hopefully we get another update from Brandon before next week, because next week will be the last one, literally on Thursday, the day before.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I gained like.
Even if you just send me a couple of pictures if you don't want to show it.
I go up like 7 pounds like a couple of days after a high day.
Okay.
You've gotten drier since we've been on this program today.
You can tell.
You got drier.
I may even drink a little bit more.
Brandon, would you care to give me your prediction?
I'm gonna leave myself out though. Is that cool?
No, you have to put yourself in.
Because I put myself in first, so I'm gonna leave myself out.
Well, then do what everybody would do. Put yourself in first, and then we'll go from there, and then we know what second.
But I'm gonna go from the bottom up and include everybody but me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool,
you know what I'm saying?
Cool.
I'm looking at Shaun,
4,
William.
6, Shaun.
Yeah, Shaun, William, Akeem. I had to look at the picture because I'll forget. Andrew, Derrick, Samson. I'm picking 7 now because I'm automatically picking myself first. Of course, that's the only right.
Yeah.
So that's the 6 guys. That's a total of 6 guys.
It's funny that none of us had Akeem in the top 6, nah? It's actually a fucking insult to one of the biggest guys on that stage. But for whatever reason, all of us just don't believe it's going to happen. Other than Brandon. Because Brandon has him in 5th place.
Akeem is beyond.
He's got Shaun out of the top 6.
Did you see his? Hey, go on his Instagram and see that front double biceps he just posted.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at his best shots.
Okay. So, best shots, crazy legs, crazy arms.
His side poses are fucking unbelievable.
Side poses is off the chart. You always criticize him for that back shots, but I think he's gonna lose back shots. Okay,
Yeah.
but there's 6 more shots.
I understand, because I think we're not giving him the respect he really deserves.
Yeah, probably. So he's most underrated, and also judges don't see him somehow doing a pre-judging in most of the shows, and then they realize, holy shit, he looked much better, and then they bump him up a little bit.
Brandon, why do you think us three, would just like overlook Akeem? Why do you think that is?
It's just normal narrative. Like if you look at bodybuilding narrative, you look at YouTube predictions, you look at the guy, people follow the sport, they're gonna automatically move the guys that's been around a while, eventually start moving us out. You know what I mean? So I've seen Akeem do nothing but like improve as I've seen of late. So I gotta notice because I've been watching him for a minute. So for me, it's not like, okay, who's up? Who's up next? It's like, man, this guy is steady. He's coming back. He's doing something with his physique that, I hadn't seen 2 years prior. So that's why it's in my mind, because I'm looking at it from a slightly different perspective. You guys are media, so you're gonna hear, you're gonna get the narratives that come through.
I don't really judge by what I hear other people say. Really, I don't even watch other people's predictions.
You can't help it. It's how it's presented a lot of times, anyway.
No, but I look at the physiques, and then I look at what do I like, what is there that I don't like. You know what I mean? And then and Milos is actually right. He said, I'm just judging him off of one bad pose. That's his back. That's his back double. And if you look at his back double, if you take the back away, hamstrings, fucking glutes, everything is fucking crazy. So
it's how he hits it. It's how he hits it too.
Yeah.
And he's adjusting that pose a little bit. And the last time I seen him adjust that pose a little bit, it looks better. Whatever he's doing, it looks better. So I think on stage, it's not a total KO. Maybe like a Derrick, who's got a ridiculous back, but it doesn't just move him completely out the picture, because it's got muscularity there. He just don't have that structural tie-in. Got that longer torso.
And I know he's been a lot drier than he has previously as from before in his career. I know that.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that really, I think, has really made him come back. He's been hitting it. He's been nailing it. And this is a sport to where guys don't always nail it. So I can't count him out.
Yeah, and I'm on Akeem. If you're watching this, we're not counting you out. We still have one more week to make our final predictions. And
I want to do this disclaimer. I just look at this right here, right here. I just look at it because I'm not good at this, right? I just look at it, and as I'm looking at it, I just say what pops out to me.
Right.
That's why I had to exclude myself, because I don't want to look at myself, because that'll be all I'm caring about. So I'm looking at everybody else that I have it, because I don't even know who I'm competing against. You know what I mean? I got an idea, but I don't know everybody. I'm like, man, who's doing this show again? But yeah, so that's how it came to me. But I don't mean I'm right. I'm probably not right.
Yeah, hey, listen, we're not fucking fortune tellers, so not because we say something doesn't mean it happens. Most of the times it doesn't. So, guys, don't get mad at us, but people just appreciate when we do predict, because, and we still want to do this prediction game. And we're going to officially make it next week, that whoever from the listeners predicting the top 6, 100% on, we'll choose 2 or 3 of them, to get a free workout with either Chris or Milos. They can choose.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, Brandon, can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
Because I do think that you're super knowledgeable and also very good judge. You do put Derrick ahead of Andrew. Okay. Analyzing physiques, muscle for muscle structure, pose for pose. You do see Derrick superior to Andrew.
Honestly, that call for me and placement is not a physique assessment call. It's more of
what you think judges going to do.
What the judges would do in that scenario. I have my reservations on where Derrick will be, because he's working with Chris now. Totally different scenario. I don't know. Some of the pictures I've seen him, I haven't seen. It's not everybody's goals. Like the pictures you've seen me, I'm flat. I'm pulled down. I'm trying to get in condition. So that's 4 weeks out. So I don't know where he is, but he hasn't looked at. I haven't seen any hardness in his physique. So for me, knowing that process, hearing some of the things I know Chris is gonna probably, try to bring him in,
Yeah,
try really.
yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna turn out. You know what I mean? So that's not just me. That's not me assessing the physique. That's me just saying, ideally, if Derrick is on, he should be here. But I don't really know. That's one question. I have a big question mark, and I do believe, if Andrew could edge him out with, if you just judge physique, and Andrew being taller, if Derrick is not fully peeled, he's not fully hard, that's the open door. So, if I look at it and you give me, you tell me to assess it more and I just pick people, I can break it down in saying, okay, I picked that because if he's on, the judges will definitely put him there. But as far as what's going to happen, I don't know.
Yeah.
Chris Acedo works with both of them, with Andrew and
Yeah, but it's his first time working with Derrick.
yes, yeah.
So he's assessed, Andrew before, knows kind of what will happen, with Derrick. It's kind of hard to know what will happen.
Yeah,
Chris-
it's a big difference. But
Chris-
you're trying. Sorry, Dennis. Because you're trying to almost guesstimate what's going to happen in the process, which is really hard, especially the first time. You don't know how, if you need to push a little bit more. Is it for, like, say, cardio, push a little bit more when it, say, come to whatever, posing or the training intensity or something like that, along with the food and trying to balance and match all that stuff together? It's a big job.
Well, Chris,
That's honestly why I appreciate the way my coach strategized this. We're gonna bring you down. We're gonna peel you first. For me, that's the most practical. Since we're working together for the first time, that's priority. I'm with it. Let's do it. Then we're gonna work on the look. We're gonna work on the look in the second phase. That right there is just so much comfort for me because I know I've already did the work, and then I know I could come out and bring that fullness back, bring that pop back, and we're refining that look what we want to look like coming to the show. So that process I'm confident in, but that's only because I reached that bottom part. I reached that low body fat point, and I'm not trying to reach it now at this point. So I think that strategy is good, especially when you're working with somebody new.
And it's not the first time?
What's that?
It's not the first time y'all work together?
It's our first time.
Oh, it's the first time.
Yeah, Justin. This is the first time I work with Justin Harris. I work with Ahmed Onaki, which he was part of my camps previously. But
Right.
I think this is like the strategy because I'm, like I said, I've seen literally like a stage look already without some of the pop and the polish and the hardness. That's and that comes with we all know. So
well, that sounds like a great show coming up in a week and a half. We are going to be there watching. Milos is going to be there. Chris, you're going to be there, right?
Yep.
So that brings us to the point where I'm going to thank you, Brandon, for making the time. I'm looking forward to you getting on that stage and prove everybody wrong. All of
I gotta
us,
do it for the OGs.
all of us, and everybody else who doesn't think you can literally
Keep
go
kicking
in
ass,
there.
Brandon.
You can go in there and possibly win this. Can you imagine what that would do if Brandon would literally upset the whole card? Let's say something goes bad and Samson just misses his timing, which can happen to anybody.
Which can happen.
You know what I'm saying? It can happen to anybody. And Chris putting Derrick in second now instead of first tells me everything I need to know.
Listen, but differences are so small. Come on.
I know, but I know. I'm just giving him shit right now because he should have said that like 3, 4, 5 weeks ago.
His face, hey, listen, his face was saying,
He was still nah.
you
When Chris got your back, he's gonna have your back. It doesn't matter. You got to go through the fire. He's got your back. All right. How much longer you have to your flight?
Shoot. I have, man, they had me in secondary customs today,
A what?
which I was like, man. Huh?
Why would they do that?
Because I'm coming from Colombia. So they was like, they were looking for steroids and looking for powders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they had you sitting in the room?
Well, not a room, but it was like they went and got my bags, and I was with a cool guy. So he was like, then there's one guy is like, oh, you went to that Columbia expo? I said, yeah. He said something like, it said Nexzilla on the tag, on my tag. And he said, "Oh, that dude Nexzilla, man, his neck is like this, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, so they kind of loosened up after that point. But yeah, I've never been to Colombia, so I guess that's part of.
Oh, that was your first time? That was your first time in Colombia? Oh, how was it?
Oh, it's cool, man. It was real cool.
Yeah, it was just
I
too
like,
short.
the food was good. Yeah, it was too short of time, but I mean, it's a huge place, and man, I can't believe the prices of them houses out there.
Yeah.
Get a fortune.
Medellin?
I was looking at places over there 10 years ago. It was half the price. I looked at it. I never forget. I looked at a penthouse apartment, 4 bedrooms, literally on top of the building in El Poblado, which is the main area. And that place was $230,000. I mean, a huge place. Back then,
Don't play
$230,000.
around.
Yes, I was so close. I was so close. I just like, I said, oh, you know what held me back? I'm married. I'm gonna stay my ass home. If I was single, that would be the place. I said so. I said not even as an investment. I said stay away from that shit. Stay away from it.
I just want to know if
And you still married.
Yeah, if Brandon knows the Dennis story. Dennis told me from Germany he went to Thailand for a 2 weeks vacation and stays for about 15 years.
Came back 15 years later with a wife and kid.
Yeah, so that would be one of those.
God has a plan for everybody, right? Yeah. But I'm at a point where I say, listen, I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying where I'm at. Safe and sound. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. What you got?
Nice seeing you. Good
This
luck.
would be you right here.
What is it?
That's you in Thailand.
Where?
Thailand.
You.
With who?
I don't know who those gentlemen are.
Where do you get? Where do you find that picture?
I got it from Gary Stridham.
I got some pictures. I got some pictures with him there. I can show you.
Good luck, Brandon.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. You all be safe, Brandon. Good luck, my man. We'll see you next week in Columbus.
All right, guys.